Hello there, everyone. Hi to you all. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you're still feeling well. Because time changes. And it does. Changes for good. Never forget this. Despite the effort or how bad it can be. Time brings good according to your deeds and according to that life that you have always desired to live. But I've noticed that every time I speak, this was brought to my attention. I never struggled that much as whenever I tried to make a full sentence when I was speaking. I noticed that in my speech, I struggled to just finish off a full sentence, even when I try nowadays. And some people thought that I must have lacked, or I don't even know how to speak properly, or I don't even know how to speak English well. But I'll be honest with you, these past couple of years, I struggled because of my memory problem. I can't even memorize the specific word. Though I sometimes think, and whenever I try to begin as when I speak, I struggle. I struggle because I'll be honest with you, the enemy never has given me a chance. That's how desperate the enemy was. And while certain group were also aware of this, aware of me, of my character, aware of me when dealing with certain individual, when trying to make sense, I swear and I mean it. The enemy has not only targeted my brain, but has targeted my speech, my hearing, my thinking patterns, my well-being. Never I've ever had this issue. If I was to remember, and I've got witnesses, I've got people who will bear witness that if I ever wanted to speak words, if I ever recited words specifically from the Bible, words spoken as exactly as when Jesus, when he was speaking to his disciples, and I honest and I swore by his name, and I don't want to make things sound harder to understand, which I probably must have messed in some of the things. That's because it's not an easy work. I'm not here to teach or preach. I honest want to make sure that you could hear me. But I always did it for hope and for the encourage of others and for help of some of those who came to me, who always want to come to me, coming to me with their struggle, with their distress, coming to me sometimes with their ignorance, with their insult, with their hate towards me. But that it's something that I must always understand, that they've been also driven far because the way they choose to live and how they want it to be. Though they wanted to come in and press themselves in front of me, they later realize they've made this kind of mistake when they now wish that if there's something that they could work out, when they still want to advise me through their thinking patterns, the way they want me to, please excuse me, I may be pronouncing some words, I may be repeating certain words. That's because sometimes I'm honest to bring those words, if I ever could, the word which I must say that I have struggled this much because my memory is not as much as when it was healthy back, because I've suffered multiple head injuries. That's just to show you the struggle that I was in and the people who knew. I've got people who knew the way I was living and how I grew up. I've been in this battle, and I swore to you, and I don't want to mention specific people because it can lead to conflict here in Sydney. But these people, it wasn't just any regular people. These people were on a specific task. But whenever we approached and we came in contact with one another, there were some people who just wanted me to believe that it was just a dream, the way I was probably thinking back then. But I've witnessed that if it was like that, your activity proved to me when you were later exposed, what you were doing, what you did was unfair. It's in the eyes of those who have made sure that they could now hear me and see me. The people who now govern. I don't seek after my own. I'm not here to make it sound like as if I've been in such an extreme something where it's like as if I'm demanding something. But I must have spoken before, spoke much better than from what I am today. Because I feel like that if I don't get to say something correctly, there is an enemy who's there straight away to criticize, to cause doubt, to bring suspicious, to make it seem like as if there is something which may seem evil in front of some people. This guy's got this guy had this issue. You will never be able to prove this. You will never be able to prove any of your evidence that you desperately have been waiting for years. What you think, you may be thinking only, but to bring it into an effect, to bring it plans about. Believe me, I've tried to remain confident. I sometimes struggle just to remember, I'll be honest, because I go through almost hell, if I could say. I mean, I may be putting it to you in words, but the mind of each person, and depends the environment that you once lived in, and where you grew up and where you come from. Believe me, and though I'm maybe speaking as if though I'm making it sound, I know there may be many people who's been much more in worse a case than I ever was. But I must say, it wasn't something that it's easy for any of you people out there. Believe me, for my role, me as I come from a background, we were once known as a nation who once existed. We probably must have believed in such a nation that once existed, but I promise we come from different part. We've joined into one community. We became this community, and I promise, and I'll make sure that whoever hears us, whoever knows, whoever wants to know, we are a chosen community, a chosen specifically, chosen for His glory. Believe me, I'm not trying to make no differences. Each person as Jerusalem, if I could say, if though Jerusalem was ever chosen, Jerusalem, it's in every nation. I want you to remember this. The people who belong to God are those people who remain as Jerusalem. Jerusalem, although the old city is still remembered, Jerusalem are to be paid tribute for all the martyrs and those who have passed away, and the people who have put all their effort to bring that which it is now still remembered till this day. That's why you see all it's all about this Jerusalem. The Jerusalem that I'm talking about, it's not just physical place, but it does, I swear to you, I promise. You can't tell that if you be just because you may be seeing some people from different belief, from different type of group. You have no idea when it's, I've already mentioned something that it's in the spiritual, it's completely different, because God also merciful towards families. Towards family, I'm on every community, I'm on every nation. The people that you might think just because they don't get to believe and may not probably understand the way you understand. But there are also people who's been looked after by God, who's been kept there. Even though if they believe, I'll be honest with you, because God, when He sees, He does not see as how you want. Although this was a requirement from each person to be aware of what you probably hear and what you see, and how you might probably try to understand other people. But when God sees, He sees things differently. There are people who I would say definitely are honest, and they've been kept there. It'll only take a matter of a second, or a matter of words, or a matter of a miracle, I would say definitely in their life, that will take place during the time when there is a revelation to them. They'll get to see. But if they ever get to choose, each person, all his deeds, whatever he does, he's also doing in honor of God Almighty. Despite their religion, despite their background, all this, and I mean it. It's not just because, it's not by deeds, although faith is required by deeds. But there are people who will do things they don't even know why they were doing those things. They will never understand. Just as it has been mentioned, you may go and see and read it. Read when the Gentiles were also part of it, part of God's plan. When they do things according to the law without them knowing that there was ever such a law like that. So I've also mentioned that if I ever was in the Middle East, I come from the Middle East, I got people from the Middle East, I've seen people, and I swear to God, you will admire those people, you will look up to those people. Just as when it's in Israel, although the people of Palestine are going through a lot of struggle, and that's a shame for us when we are out here, when we see such people, when there isn't something, it's in our hand that we can do something about it. But these people also were warned. These people were warned. People were warned. This is not something, it's just like as if though they may probably say a matter of political issue. It's not a political issue. It's Israel. It's God, and it's God who's in this. And but if you may say God is as best as is, how can I describe it? As so extreme as what He does. No, He does not look at it honest to God. Everything has been measured. The people who will definitely give an account according to their deeds, and the reason why I carry on with such tasks like that. But I must say, believe me, no one dares, no one, there's nothing without Israel. God means it's not in this world. But I would say on behalf of every nation that it's out there, believe me when I say this, God does not make no difference between you, whether if you're Muslim or whether if you're Christian, whether if you're a Jew. Especially, I cannot speak on behalf of others. Others were also given as example as for you people to see what it's out there, how other people's belief is, how they live their life. Though they may be probably living differently from what you probably think, but you can definitely see their result. You can see the effort, how they put everyone together, as they work together and they stick together, always operating as one sort of group. It breaks my heart to see that conflict in the Middle East like that, because I also do not support, I'll be honest with you, I do not wish to hold, how can I say, I do not wish to blame anyone. It does affect me, my brothers and sisters, believe me. It does get to me. What I've seen, it's not something that I could handle on my own. But it's through God, His mercy, and what I would always hope is that this conflict may come to end. And I hope that there may be an ongoing discussion, that they may come to an agreement, there may be ceasefire. Also, so in Europe, so in this fight that has been going on in Ukraine. I don't just sit here and just try to live my life and you think I'm just here sitting thinking about it as what you probably think here in Australia and how it is for us. I also think about those who, I swear and I promise you, it is a very desperate situation for some people out there. You have no idea how it is. So just think of it. Think of it this way. I don't like some people with the attitude towards me. They come and they're just trying to like give me those bad. They come to me with their bad intention, and just because of what is happening out there, it doesn't matter. It does matter. If what is happening out there will affect you also here, believe me, it will affect globally. If anyone is ever been provoked, there are people with such weapons that they could cause much more damage, even though if it's a small minority. There are people, it's people that matters the most. It's people. If people go mad, you're also there in it as well. So think of it. I also want to say something, but I should just wait. I know it's hard to accept it for me like that, believe me. I know if I could say it, I may sound extreme and some people might hate me for this, but I'm not, and I swear to you, I don't stand up with the government who's been government there in the Middle East like that and despise their political agenda. But I also do not support the destruction of Israel. That's something I want you to keep that in mind. But I also will make sure that my words are heard, and for all the people I hold dearly, the people of Islam, the people who have gone through much more harder problems, the people who suffer till this day, the people when I see them like they're pleading for help, that's a disgrace for me. That hurts me. That makes me sometimes break in tears. I don't like seeing things like that. I don't want to see things like that. I'm also concerned in the life that it's in me because I come from Middle East. I was born there. The life that I lived and how we lived and how is now what I now have to go through, dealing with each family member as a family where we once a family, but now we've been separated. I've been left on my own. I grew up on my own. I had to make my own decision. When I cannot see the way you see. It's not. God has placed all this burden upon me.